Let's now talk about the possibilities of investigating male domination, or in other words, androcentricism in organizational structures, which may be a challenge for uh, f- feminist ideologies and feminist discourses in coming year, and they have already been a challenge which feminist discourses have been complaining about. And this can possibly be a potential site for analysis in critical discourse studies. We have seen even the spheres where women have been apparently encouraged to participate in public domains, and they have been doing various kinds of job. We have found, studies have found deep-seated androcentricism that underlies organizational practices and values in many cultural settings. We have seen that even in such settings, it has been men who have been preferred over women according to the available discourses. Feminist CDA has also investigated various progressive changes which have been brought in to accommodate more women, and such studies have seen how far this has affected the lives of professional women, especially in those who are working in leadership roles. For example, Wodak investigated similar things and based a study on gender mainstreaming proposals in the European Union in the 1990s, which somehow proposed developing some comprehensive changes in order to mainstream, or in other words, to provide equal opportunities to both genders. Woodak's initial finding indicated that there are more women who are being employed now, which is a good break from the past. Then, relatively open organizational structures are allowing women to negotiate their professional and personal identities in a range of different ways, which again is a good omen. And they now can deny adhering to stereotypical roles which used to be assigned to them in the past. But still, she found that on the other hand, women were still markedly underrepresented, despite this influx of women in public spheres recently in European Union. Still, if you count overall ratio, their participation was very little as compared to men, especially in certain states of the Europe. On the other hand, it was also found that even those women in positions of responsibility had to constantly justify their presence and positions. They had to uh, prove their worth as compared to their male counterparts. Woodek notes then that although gender mainstreaming is a first step towards changing structural inequalities, there is a lot to be done to change the attitudes of the people who are dealing with these social issues or structural issues, because there has been some deep-seated attitudinal problems which look women from a different eye, and that's why they have to prove their worth and achievements. And that's something which comes as a kind of suggestion based on these studies, that we need to change our attitudes in gender related attitudes in social and especially in professional settings. In another study, Martin and Esteban found that managerial women are negatively appraised by their male and female employers due to some kind of entrenched prejudice of equating power and leadership with masculinity. It has become a kind of, and it used to be in the history, a kind of norm that men are more tailor made for holding positions of authority and leadership, and probably they can exercise these things in a better way as compared to women. And this is a kind of attitude or thinking which still women have to confront in many professional and national contexts. From analyzing the interviews and discussion groups held with the employees, these scholars reported that unlike men, if women leaders adopted traditional masculine styles of management, they were thought to be aggressive, and their steps were considered to be overzealous, ambitious, and something which provoked some kind of fury among employees. If women manager followed a different model, for example, a very timid or peaceful, lack of aggression model, they would be perceived as lacking confidence to lead. Just look at this dichotomy. If they follow a man-like masculine model, being more aggressive and pushing in the work, they were thought to be overzealous, ambitious, aggressive. When the male doing the same thing would thought to be performing their duties skillfully. But if they follow a kind of traditional model, they are not proactive in their jobs. They were thought to be lacking confidence to lead a good organization. As a result, it was found that Spanish women in positions of responsibility had to juggle to minimize their authority while exercising it. They had to adjust with various things or various discourses they would produce while performing their duties. Because of the emergent model required that peers and subordinates accept those in authority, managerial women worried that they would offend them. Since this became a popular model in recent times in relation to management, that you have to make your peers and subordinates happy, you have to take them along. Women leaders most of the time remain worried how to make them happy, how to please them, or how to take them along. So this turns out to be an extra burden for them. Esteban noted that communicative behavior of women managers was not only seen as inappropriate by employees, but that it contributed to their social isolation. If they push things for a better professional output, they become isolated. In short, we can say that their aggressive attitude is not accepted by their subordinates or peers, whereas a male with the same attitude seeks or gets more social approval as compared to women.